Once upon a time in the land of Canaan, there was a man named Jacob. Now, Jacob wasn't a good guy. He was actually a real tricksy guy. He tricked his own brother out of his birthright, and then he tricked his father into giving him his blessing. After that, he ran away from home because his brother wanted to kill him. While Jacob was running away, he came across a deserted place with a big stone to sleep on. But that night, he had a scary dream. In his dream, he looked up and saw a ladder stretching all the way to heaven. And guess what? Angels were climbing up and down that ladder. When Jacob woke up, he was like, "Oh, that was one crazy dream." But then he noticed something really cool. The stone he had slept on was actually a special stone. It was an angel stone. You know, those stones that sometimes you see in parks or gardens that are shaped like angels. Yeah, Jacob found one of those stones, but it was just a regular stone to everyone else. Only Jacob knew it was an angel stone. Jacob was a little scared because he felt like God might be sending him a message through that dream and the stone. So, he promised God that if God would take care of him and protect him, then Jacob would worship God and honor him. Jacob built a little altar right there where he had his dream. He took some oil and some incense and sprinkled the oil on the stone. Then he used the incense to make the air smell nice. And that place became a holy place. And do you know what happened next? That very night, Jacob had another dream. In this dream, God told Jacob that he liked that he had honored the place where Jacob had his first dream. So God said he was going to give Jacob a special blessing. God promised to multiply Jacob's family and to make him into a great nation. God also promised to give Jacob and his family land to live in and to protect them. And lastly, God promised to be with Jacob wherever he went. After Jacob woke up from his dream, he realized how much God had blessed him already. He had a safe place to sleep, food to eat, and now God had promised to take care of him and his family in the future. Jacob was so happy that God had chosen him and loved him. Now, after that day, whenever Jacob was scared or needed help, he remembered that God had promised to be with him, and that gave him courage. One time when Jacob was feeling brave, he went back to the city where his dad lived, and he wrestled with his brother. And guess what? Jacob won the fight. Later, Jacob went to live with his uncle Laban. And guess what? Laban was a tricksy guy just like Jacob. So they kind of got along. But Jacob wanted to go home again, so he made a deal with Laban. He said that if Laban gave Jacob some nice sheep and goats, then Jacob would work for him for 7 years. And Laban agreed. But here's the thing, Laban kept changing the deal. First, he told Jacob that he would give him the fluffy white sheep and goats, but then he gave him the spotted ones instead. And Jacob wasn't happy about that. So, he asked for the striped sheep and goats. But then he got the spotted ones again. And this kept happening over and over again. After a while, Laban was like, "Hey Jacob, you want to make a new deal? Okay, you can have all the purple and speckled sheep and goats." So Jacob was like, "Okay, I'll take those." And that's exactly what he did. He separated the purple and speckled sheep and goats and started his own flock. And do you know what? Those purple and speckled animals had magical powers. They made all of Jacob's other animals have more babies. And before long, he had a huge flock of sheep and goats. Jacob became rich because he had so many animals, and he was happy because he could finally go home and tell his family how much God had blessed him. On the day that Jacob was going to leave, he put all the animals that belonged to his uncle Laban on one side and all his own animals on the other side. Then he took a stick and marked each animal so it wouldn't get mixed up. Later, Jacob told his workers to take their animals from Laban's side and put them together with their own animals. And guess what happened? When Laban came to count his animals, he saw that most of them were missing. He was furious and he was like, "Jacob, why did you take my animals?" Jacob was like, "I only took what belonged to me, Uncle Laban. You gave me your spotted, striped and speckled animals, but now you say that I stole them." Laban was quiet because Jacob was right. He had made a deal with Jacob, and he had broken it. Laban was mad at first, but then he was like, well, I guess Jacob is a man of his word. If he keeps his word, I'm sure his family will too. So Laban called his daughters and sons, and he made a big party. All of them were happy because Jacob was coming to live with them forever. After the party, Jacob went to his tent and took out the idols that his family had. He told them, "You can't keep these idols anymore. We're gonna leave them here." Then Jacob built another altar to God, and he and his family worshiped God. In the morning, Jacob called his workers and told them to pack everything up because his family was leaving. Before they left, Jacob took the idols he had taken out of his tent and threw them into the same ditch where he had thrown Laban's idols. When Jacob arrived home, his family welcomed him with a big party. Everyone was so happy to see him. Jacob told his family about all the amazing things God had done for him, and he thanked God for being with him always. And you know what? Jacob's family grew really big, just like God had promised. Jacob had 12 sons who became leaders of 12 tribes. These tribes became the nation of Israel, and God's people followed Jacob's faith. The end. Hey, my little friends, what did Jacob learn from his experiences? Well, he learned that even when he was scared, he could trust that God was with him. He also learned to honor God and to keep his promises. And guess what? When we honor God and keep our promises, He can help us and bless us in amazing ways. Just like He blessed Jacob. Now, my little friends, it's your turn to talk. What promise has God kept for you? Has He helped you when you were scared or sad? Share your stories in the comments below. And remember, just like Jacob, we can trust that God will always be with us. Hey, my amazing subscribers. You're awesome. Keep being you and keep learning about God's amazing stories. And for my non-subscribers, well, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and join our family. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us keep going. Thanks for watching. See you next time.